relationship episode, take one.
Welcome back to another episode on the Lovers Priestess. Today's episode is actually going to be something quite fun, quite juicy.
Absolutely.
We are going to be talking about relationships. For the past few episodes, I've talked about self-healing, spiritual journey, and self-concept. So this time, we're going to talk a little bit more about relationships. So everyone, this is my longtime high school friend, Joshua.
Hi. Hello.
Or I call him Josh. Aswar. Aswar. Anyway, we've known each other for the longest time. This guy has pretty much seen me grow up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so but for a period of time, we actually lost contact. So this is kind of us catching up on that. And since we've been catching up recently, we've been talking a lot about relationships and our experiences through talking stages and all of that. So Josh is going to be here to share some of that. And anyway, before we get into that conversation, I want Josh to introduce himself to everybody.
People know me as Azwar. I'm Indonesian, but I grew up with Gabby throughout high school. And then, I've lived sort of on my own ever since then. Went to Australia, back in Indonesia now. And, and then just flying back and forth to Hong Kong, which is really fun. I got to see my parents and everything, and now I'm here now.
Which is really nice. That's why this is actually quite a spontaneous episode.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
We did talk about him coming on, but we didn't expect it to be like right away. It was such a blessing that you came to Hong Kong at this time.
Thank you.
And so thank you so much for coming on and actually sharing this, because the whole reason why I started this, I told you, is to kind of show a different side of me. It's a little bit more vulnerable. It's a little bit more open and hopefully relatable.
Yeah.
And so, when we talk about healing journey, we go through the healing phases. Relationships that come after that is 100%. It's a bit of a tricky subject for everybody who's going through it. So I guess Josh is going to start. We're just going to go on and tell us your experiences.
Oh, wow. My experiences. Well, most of them have been Filipino. No, that's not the best way to start. But I feel like I've had my fair share of a little bit of everything, love not being reciprocated, and and vice versa. I think I was the one that was not reciprocating that same love. But every relationship is an experience in itself, and it's sort of it's part of your own journey, and just I've been clouding this question upon you because I really like this girl, and just recently I asked her out, and I got rejected, unfortunately, and I just sort of wondered how should one move on from that, because not a lot of people have the same confidence. Like, maybe some people could just be like, okay, like you don't wanna go out, that's fine. But some people they sort of sulk in it, not to say that I was or not, but how does one cope with that?
That's really interesting. I think with that, it's really tricky. Everybody handles it differently. Like you said, some will sulk and some will just be like, it's whatever. Yeah. But it's really just trying to understand the other person as well. Like, some people get bitter, which I'm so glad that you're not like that, because you were very Josh has told me this situation before and we've spoken about it, and he's handled it very maturely, very nice. Like, I would say it was just such a nice way that you handled it. You were so mature about it. You were so kind about it. You were so okay, I understand. Thank you for being honest, And then when you move on from it, it's never easy. Like, as a girl, I think when you get rejected or you get pushed out like that, you tend to focus on the other person a lot, right? This is when I say you start putting the people on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And then because they rejected you, you're like, why they reject me? What can I, like, how can I do? What can I do next? But it's really turning the attention to you and what can you do to just make yourself feel better. For example, like my favorite thing that I always talk about during my healing journey is like learning something new.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like distracting yourself, like a good kind of positive kind of distraction was like, sorry, learning something new.
Yeah.
I think that's such a fun way to focus on yourself. And then you kind of like, in your own way, you're improving yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not doing it for anybody. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then it just takes your mind off of things like that. Hobbies, finding your hobbies. If you're not sure what your hobbies are, because especially for us adults now, how weird is that to say?
Yeah.
But work consumes us.
It really does.
Work consumes us and we don't have time for hobbies anymore, you know? But I think that's a tricky part. That's a really tricky thing because when you're so consumed with work and then you're going through these emotions of like, what do you call this? Like heartbreak. I wouldn't say heartbreak, but you know, along the lines of like disappointment from a relationship. You're just suppressing it instead of actually working through it because when you're at work, you're so focused on one thing that you don't actually have the time to deal with it. And I feel like when you really have the time to be on your own, doing something you love, like hobbies, right? You're really allowed to feel a different type of way.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make sense? Like your emotions, like your emotions are not forced when you're doing hobbies, right? When you're doing your hobbies, when you're doing something that you love, you're actually enjoying yourself. You're enjoying your time. Not that I'm saying you don't enjoy your work.
Yeah.
Not that at all. But you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
And when you find your hobbies, you get into that, you have that ability to shift your mindset from something that was disappointing to something that's kind of healing you in a way. Yeah. Whereas if it's work and you're so used to the daily routine of work, you're not really doing something that is cheering you up in a way because when you're so used to routine, it's just like you're on autopilot. You're on autopilot. You're doing it, but you're not really processing different emotions.
Yeah. I think it's stagnant, right? I think that's the best word to put it out.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we don't love our jobs.
I
love my job. Like it has nothing to do with that, but it comes down to that. It's so routine that your mindset is very different from when you're doing something you love. I think my approach to this kind of stuff is very spiritual as well. You know, spiritual and a lot to do with meditation, journaling.
I think I've read somewhere that if you actually write it down, I think you know it really sort of helps, and then it records your you know what happens on the day, and then when you come back to it, and you just be like, I can't believe that I've ever felt that way, or like, you know, in a positive and in a negative way, you know, in a sense that like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I felt that way, or in a negative way, you know, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I felt that way.
I understand that, like journaling, like guys, I've said this before, and some people will be like, oh, journaling, so weird. Like, no, it's great. This is what I mean by when you embrace your emotions, right? You have to embrace them. You have to know why they trigger you. You have to know why they upset you. And when you write them down, it's like, oh, do I really want to be affected by this again? Like, you know, that all stems down to like, you know, you're finding yourself, healing yourself as well. And it's really useful. So
it's like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Why was I so caught up with that during that moment? And it's so easy for you to just get caught up as well. I mean, you know, we're all humans. We have emotions, and sometimes those emotions get the better of us. And I mean, I've been through it, you know. But it also depends on the person as well. If they are the understanding type, like that girl. Shout outs. Um, no, she's great. She was actually like super nice about it. She was just like, oh, that's really sweet. I'm not in the right headspace, and I wouldn't want to waste your time, which is, I feel like there was a sense of trust as well, where she was like, oh, I'm not in the right headspace. Like, okay, that's her situation that she has made known to me, and so I'm be like, okay, maybe I won't pursue this in the respect of her.
Yes.
And I think she's still pretty awesome. She's great, and
That's really
hopefully we still keep in touch, regardless of what happens.
That's really nice. Yes, guys. Always be kind. You never know what people are going through, and I think that's really noble, and that's really nice. And it's really nice to hear that. So, besides that, like, you asked me, now from a guy's perspective, right?
Dang.
Like, what did you do? Or not just this situation. You've mentioned before that you've experienced not receiving the love that you gave out. Right?
Yeah.
So, of course, that must have hurt. That must have broke your heart in some ways.
Yeah, 100%.
What did you do to get yourself out of that?
Wow, it's a heavy load of a question. So do you want to hear about it? So basically, it has everything to do to my last relationship. Not that I'm putting her on blast, but I remember my first year, like sort of, I'm coping up with that breakup. It was just like I kept distracting myself with gaming, because that's sort of one of my hobbies, and a friend of mine, we played together, and then during that time we sort of met. We play with other people around the world, right? With this game, and we were so in sync with each other, and we ended up being friends, and it was great, and now we're a group. We haven't played in a while. Everyone has been busy with adult life, but any time that we can, we gather, and we sort of just play, mess around, mess about. And so I haven't had a lot of laughs without them, and it was such a difficult time where it was not easy coming back here to see you, to see everyone that I grew up with in high school, which, they're sort of my group mates. And so yeah, during that time, I guess I only had that, and it was great to have them around. It was a really refreshing feeling to just be genuinely happy, It's been a while since ever since the breakup, and I feel like, without that breakup, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today.
That's fair.
I think that I would still have the same job that I had then, and nothing would change. But without that, I think I wouldn't find the strength in myself to sort of seek something better. And, no more sulking around, like I said. It's just like, there's really no point into it. You're really wasting your time on this thing where, it's ended. And maybe it's for the better. I'm not exactly sure. And, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have these new friends that I know have. Yeah. And I wouldn't have the job that I have today, which I feel like I deserve, and I think that, sometimes I think, well, what if we had stayed longer? Well, what if it had all worked out? But, I don't linger on that thought for long.
But it's normal to have had that. Like, I've had that as well. Like, that's really normal. Yeah.
And, from that point on, I was just like, I have this job now, and I got to see my parents a lot more. I reunited with my brother last Christmas, and which is literally the best thing in the world. I haven't seen my brother in like 2-3 years, and it was really nice, and well, having the four of us together in such a long time.
That's really sweet.
And I feel like our time together was set, and there was no chance of prolonging it whatsoever. And I don't wish her any ill will or anything. I wish her love, happiness, and success, and I hope she knows that. And maybe she's just a stepping stone, a canon event. And maybe she was just someone in your path,
someone you had to learn from.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to learn from. Right?
And what I think about every day is like maybe she was just there for the duration for your written out to be. And I mean, with that, the sorrows of 2022 and the birth of 2023, I just can't wait for this year.
That's really good. So I feel like 2023, having been on this spiritual journey of mine, I've gotten the chance to really talk to a lot of people throughout 2023. And I found that not just me, but a lot of people throughout 2023. Now, my spiritual girlies, anyone there knows what 2023 stands for. So I just want to know, before I even explain to you what that year was, I want to know, what was your 2023 like? Just catching up, because I haven't seen Josh in so many years. I caught up with you, just a couple months back.
Like Halloween night.
Yeah, Halloween. Oh, my goodness. And on Halloween in October. And by then, the time that Josh has met me, since he's seen me since high school, I have gotten married, gotten divorced.
Whoa.
and it was just like a huge whoa. So, of course, people who have been following me know a little bit about my story. So 2023 was a very transformative year for me. How was 2023 for you?
I mean, I don't speak for everyone, but I think it was everyone's year, and not to take it to anyone that hasn't had like a transformative year, or just have it's a great year. It's just not, the workaround that I feel like I had, the workaround that you probably had as well. But it was great. The first half was a bit rough, but then sort of at the end of it, it got me to where I am. It got me sort of happier. Yeah. Because that's what a lot of my friends has said. So I was working in a hotel back in 2022 up until a little bit of 2023, and I watched back a clip of mine because I recorded some of it, and I was super skinny, and it felt like it was a point where it did not look healthy at all. Right. Like it was okay, but it's just like you need to eat a lot more, and I do. Like I try to eat every day. I snack a little bit here and there, but and then now I've probably put on a little bit, and everyone has said like you look good, happier. Man. Yeah, you look happier, and I'm like, yeah, thank you.
That's good.
You really don't know what to expect when you get compliments, especially coming from a guy.
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
share that.
We boys, we don't get all these compliments. So when we get them, we be like a schoolgirl, like. No, I mean for real.
Sorry.
Like back in the day when I was still at that relationship, and my girlfriend at the time calls me like, "Oh, you look good, you look handsome," and I was just like, "Oh, really?" Like, I don't know. It's yeah. Hey, I hope I'm not spilling any secrets for every guy here, but I just know, girls, when you compliment your guy, it goes a long way.
No, I believe that. I think as much as we women, we talk about your feminine energy and being in that receiving mode all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's great, but sometimes it's also really, it's just a nice thing to give back in that sense, you know, and it's such a small thing. It really is. It's a small thing. And I know from my own experience with like dating and like, you know, different like relationships. Yeah. Guys don't get enough compliments. And I think like they do get surprised when they get a compliment, especially from a girl. Like I feel like bros will always be like, "Yeah, man," they won't be like, "Yeah, man, you look good, you looking fine," you know, like you know, with girls that's what we do, right? We hype each other up. For girls, we're always like, "Girl, you look hot, you look fine as fuck."
Oh, language. Guys, we have not cussed since high school. No, that's a definite lie.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that's fair. What you say? No, guys, don't worry. We all know you love compliments. Don't hide it.
And
just accept it. Don't. When a girl compliments you, don't be like, nah. No, just be like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know?
And that sort of like helps on the self-confidence side as well.
Sure.
So that like helps us to be more, I wouldn't say like straightforward, but we would put ourselves more in the spotlight. No pun intended.
Like more confidently. Like you'd be able to move. And it goes for everybody. Like, you know, anybody who receives compliments will feel better about themselves. That doesn't mean you shouldn't compliment yourself, guys. Healing, self-love.
Full body mirror.
Compliment yourself. Affirmations every day. I will insist on this every episode. Affirmations. You know, I struggled with self-love. Like we've spoken about this. Now that we're in the relationship topic that we've never really discussed, I've never really got deep down into. So I myself has been in a relationship since Josh has known me. I have been a relationship girly nonstop. and for a good 10 years of my life, this is pretty much when we stopped talking. 10 years of my life, I kind of lost sight of who I was. You know, like Josh was saying that his appearance changed when he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't at your best self. You weren't at your happiest self. You know, not to say that your relationship was miserable, not to say that at all. No. It's just that you weren't at your happiest self.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't at that stage of really taking care of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And it happens. It really does happen when you're in a relationship that doesn't really serve you anymore, you know. Like, we all go through relationships, we all go through phases in our lives because they're there for a reason. But once that time is up, and you force the time to keep going, that is when you start losing yourself because you're no longer taking care of yourself. And that's what happened to me. You know, Josh has known this. Like, basically, he told me as well that once I jumped into that relationship, he had no idea who I was. And it
I did not say that.
he is like, I didn't even know who you were. But it's true. I look back and I have to say I didn't know who I was. Like, I was putting up a facade. I was basically living, trying to fit all the expectations of my significant other. More than trying to fit the expectations of myself. And so, like, I really lost myself. I was not happy with myself. I was not happy with the way I looked. I was not happy with the way that I was and the way that I lived. I spent most of my time sleeping. And yeah, I'm a girl who loves to sleep. But it was an obscenely unhealthy amount of sleep. It's like Sleeping Beauty, but with, you know, like a little too much.
Give me some of that, man. I work on the clock, man. So I sleep at 12, wake up at 6, and even in the weekends, like.
No, I mean now my body clock has adjusted like that. But in that time, because I was not happy, all I wanted to do was sleep. Because I realized that I'm the kind of person that when I'm down, when I'm not happy, all I feel is tired. I have no energy. We talk about this. We've talked about this in the second episode of Spiritual Journey. And your energy is everything, right?
Yeah.
When you're in low vibrations, you're low energy, you have no energy. That was me. For so many years, I didn't recognize that. I didn't recognize why I was tired. I just assumed it was work. I just assumed it was all these different excuses as to why I was tired. But now that I've been through this healing journey, now I've been through this spiritual journey, I've understood I was in my lowest vibrations.
Yeah.
As in, I was emitting low vibrations. I was emitting low energy. And so all my body wanted to do was sleep and not face the reality of what was around me.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's why when I came out of the relationships, it took me some time.
Yeah.
As I said, for the first half of 2023, I was lost.
Yeah.
I was like a lost puppy. Like I was not happy. People at work could see that. Like people at work were actually concerned because they've always known me to be this like cheerful person, but
Yeah.
I was showing up to work like and I'm usually very good at separating work, like professional
Work
feelings and like,
life. Personal, right? Yeah.
personal. I was always very good at separating that.
Yeah.
But I was in such a low and bad state of mind that it was so hard for me to hide that. And so people at work were just like, she's not Gabby. She's not. But thankfully, a few months later, I stepped out of it and I was fine. I was doing so much better. But again, when you go through this healing journey, right? Once you know your worth, once you know who you are, what you want in life, it does make finding relationships challenging.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. I see that. I see.
It makes it challenging.
100%. Yeah.
Because at that point, when you actually know what you want, some people might not fit that, and you might like that person a lot. Like, okay, like I'm gonna share a little bit about my experience.
Yeah.
So with my experience, it was basically like, so once I knew exactly what it was I wanted, right? And when I like a guy, this is my problem. This is why I said, guys, controlling who has your power is so important. And this is something I had to learn the hard way. And I'm still learning through it. Healing journey is an ongoing journey, guys. And even though I know what I want, which is great. I know what I want from a relationship. I know what I want from a person. However, it's so easy to fantasize and romanticize the person that you like, right?
100%.
And you kind of put them on the pedestal again, like I said. You put them on the pedestal instead of yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've done. I'm not going to hide that. I've done this. I've made this mistake so many times. It's something I had to learn. And it's hard, though.
Yeah.
Because you keep thinking, oh, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. It'll take time.
Oh, yeah.
But the truth is I was just romanticizing the idea of this person. I was just fantasizing that this person could be exactly what I wanted when they're actually not, you know? So that's something that I can share, that I was just like, that is something I had to learn as well. And it's not easy. I think like when you go through this healing journey, it can get kind of lonely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's lonely, but it's a nice kind of lonely. I found peace in my own space, you know, and I've spoken about this in the previous episode as well, that I'm not the type of person. You've always known me as someone who loves to be around big groups of people.
Yeah.
You know, like growing up, I was that girl who I love hanging out with people. I thrived off of the company of people.
Yeah.
But being on my healing journey, I've really learned to kind of protect my energy and protect like, what I give out now.
Yeah.
So then at the beginning of it, I was very lonely and it was very sad because I had to adjust myself to kind of like being alone.
Yeah.
And now I love it. So this is where I say for me, it's challenging now because of course I want to be in a relationship. Of course I'd like to date, but I'm not putting myself out there. I am not actively putting myself out there. But I'm quite enjoying my space. So for you as a guy, right, like we've spoken about this, you're kind of out there. You're kind of like putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So how is that for you? You know, like clearly you've also been on your healing journey. You know, you've worked on yourself. You've gotten into a job that you love. You know, you're continuing to work on your future. But at the same time, you're putting yourself out there. How is that going? Like,
Yeah. You know, I think what it all is that like it speaks volumes with the people around you.
yeah.
You know, I think I was not happy probably working in the hotel. Not to say the people there are not great, but I probably was not happy with myself at the time. And then I got this job, and then I got to go back home for a lot of the time, and you know, and part of that journey is being with your friends and taking that sort of like, you know, you don't need that. Let's make new memories with us and everything, and you know, and I feel like that's where we found each other. You know, that Halloween night where.
Oh, that was so nice.
That trip, I saw Gabby with her brother, and we sort of connected back with each other, and I invited her out with our friends, and then everything sort of clicks, and you know, yeah.
You attract what you are. That's the whole reflection thing, right?
Yeah, so you send out like positive energy, and then it'll come back.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely felt that, like, because. When Josh came up to me that day, it was so surprising because I was just there to have dinner with my brother, and all of a sudden I was just like, I hear like, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I love that we're talking about this as well, because in my previous episode I was talking to my spiritual mama about this, and it's just like the world around you is a reflection of what you are inside. And so I can see that because we've both been going through this healing phase and like finding joy in our friendship and things around us, you know, I think it's so nice that we did get a chance to connect. And it's really nice that you share this like moment, like you're talking about like your talking stages, your relationships. It's really nice that the conversation flows really easily as well, because given that we haven't seen each other in so many years. But it's really nice. So I feel like I'm so happy to hear as well that you've been going through your own type of healing journey. I think that is so, it's so unique because everybody's healing journey is so different, right? So, you know, you said you went to the gym, you know, you started going to the gym, or what else did you do throughout your healing journey that really pushed you to be who you are today?
Oh, wow. I mean, I really did push in the gym, but sort of, you know, having that self-confidence and speaking in the matter of relationships, I've obviously put myself out there. You know, I've gone out and just, you know, some people come to me, some people don't, and you know, I don't know what to say here, but you know, it's
more
really...
like just what did you do, like in terms of like what really pushed you to be yourself, like you know, like I can see, and the energy that I get from you is that you're just happy. 100%. You're just happy, and I love that, because that's all we want in life is just to be happy in our own presence. And so that's when I'm with Josh, or whenever I talk to Josh, it's just positive vibes all around, and I kind of really love that. So that's why I'm just like, you know, what do you do? Maybe on a daily basis, what is like something that you do to maintain that happiness? Because of course, I'm guessing you are not in that state of your life where you are relying on someone for your happiness. Right? Like we're both not in that state anymore. So what is it that you do to maintain this happiness on a daily basis?
Oh my gosh, wait, I have the perfect thing. So during that year, I've gotten a lot closer with my cousins.
Oh, I love that. Family, okay, yes.
So while I have that job going on, I also have my family, which is the best thing. And I am the oldest out of the four. And sort of I'm the one looking around for like what to do, whatever. Because that's what I did during that relationship, my last relationship. Because TikTok is not banned in Indonesia. So a lot of the content that goes through my page is like a lot of like these places that's really interesting, and
so nice.
and my first thought process is just like maybe she would like this, it's fun, and it's very energetic, and it I think it would be a great date, and coming back from that, I'd just be like, I really think my cousins will like this. We're all at a point where we're all coming into like adults. I think the youngest one is like 19 on her first year of uni, but I think we are all adults now. It's very different since when we were kids. But I'm just happy the fact that the four of us have gotten really close. And I had my Christmas here, so I couldn't have Christmas with the big family, with the cousins. And so when I got back, I asked one of them, like, hey, how's Christmas? Like I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I was with my family, which is great in itself. And then he was just like, I think this year was a lot better because
you weren't here. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, yo.
I'm kidding. Just kidding, guys.
Hey.
Sorry.
I love to grill, but I don't like being roasted.
Sorry. Please go on. Your cousin said this year was a lot better because...
Yeah, this year was a lot better because I wasn't there. It's literally what I said. It's because the four of us had gotten a lot closer, and because we have some Christmas gatherings every a year as we try, and we would bunch up, but we would just not talk about like all the deep stuff that goes on and everything, and we're cousins. We're supposed to, well, not supposed to, but it's just like it should be easier to speak to family about everything, about relationships and all that, and the hurt that you may have been caused, and the happiness that the peak of happiness that you go through, and in that year 2023 we've all like talked to each other. We've gone through the deep sense of just like, yeah, no, I'm seeing this person, and I'm seeing this person. I want to approach this person, but how should I go about it? And it's really back and forth. I may be the oldest, but I don't have like a lot of experience, trying to connect with somebody in a romantic way. My younger cousin probably has, a lot more experience in that. But yeah, no, it's really back and forth. It's a welfare exchange in between all of us.
That's really nice. Yeah. So like your family really contributed to your healing journey.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. I wouldn't be here without those guys.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Like I love them to death. I will jump off a hill for them. I would not.
I would not. I would not, but I would. No. I would. Gotta wink to your family, guys. So no, I love this, guys. This episode is definitely more fun. It's more
high school.
more of the high school teenage vibe.
Yeah.
But it is so lovely again, because the whole point about this, Josh, is that I want it to be seen. I want people, whoever comes on to this, is sharing their personal journey, because that's what the whole point is, to reach out to people experiencing all different types of healing journey and who can relate to it. And I love that. So, it is really nice to hear how you mention family, because I think for me, I haven't credited my family enough. I'm sorry, guys. My mama, I love you so much, though. It's okay. My mom and I are very close.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You know, she definitely is my source of happiness as well. So she knows that. But I've been talking more a lot about introspection and like how I dive deep down into understanding me and what makes me happy. So it's really nice to hear how your family was a big part in your healing journey as well.
Shout outs to Ez, JJ, and Gemma.
I love that. I love that. Yes. You know, it's been really nice to hear about your journey through this, and you know, it's nice to hear that you're still putting yourself out there as well. Actively like seeing people and going through talking stages. Actually, there was something I wanted to ask you as a guy.
Yeah.
Right? You know, as a guy, this is something that I've always wanted to know.
Dang.
So in a relationship aspect, right? They always talk about at the beginning stages, there's always the chaser.
Oh, yeah.
And the one being chased.
Yeah.
Right? As a guy, right? What are your thoughts on that? Like, the thoughts that you had when you were the chaser and the thoughts that you had when you were being chased. I'd just love a little bit of an insight to that. Since we're talking about relationships, you know, something a little juicy. I'd love to hear your insight.
You know, I think with the chaser, since we are the one, you know, putting that person up, it's really easy to romanticize everything. And so, like, I would just, I don't know, get her coffee and she'd say thanks. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, she said thanks.
Would you say that you're like a hopeless romantic?
I would very much say that. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I you know, I'd do anything for this girl, and you know, just all the little stuff, you know, like get her coffee, do this, do whatever. Funny enough, we worked with each other for a duration, so acts of service sort of thing. Even though it's at work, we keep it professional, guys. Remember, if you share the same workspace, you got to keep it professional.
That's why I say never date your coworkers.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
not just in a specific person type thing, but just like...
But I would obviously, like, do anything to get noticed, you know? A little sprinkle of desperation there, just because their validation is what we thrive off of. You know, and being the chased, I had never been one to be chased. You know, I think it's the way you really see it, and the way you really act on it, because it's you've been putting you a lot more. So when another person, you'd just be like, well, really? Wow. You know, and you get scared because, for one, you might not want to mess it up. And
is this when you're being chased or when you are the chaser?
Being chased, you know, especially with the positive energy around you, you attract more towards that. And then when you do happen to have that, you're just, you know, sort of, well, I'm confused over it. Because it is nice to have someone, right? Because I'll share a little bit, because we started talking and we started sharing a little bit of a lot of every day. Like, I'm at work, okay, I'll be going home, take care, text me when you're home, stuff like that, you know. And it was really nice to just have someone care for you, you know, aside from your parents, who obviously,
of course, it's an outer source of affection. It's an outer source of attention. We're human. We crave this. It's very normal. So yes, please.
So it was really nice, and then at some point she had work, you know, and then at the very end she'd go like, hey, I have an after party. I'm gonna be going out. She let me know, and I'm like, wow, you know, I feel like she trusts me, and it sort of assured me that okay, she's gonna be in this space. If she wants to text me, she will, and then if she doesn't, then I'll just leave her be, you know. And then at the very end of it, it was because I was really confused about the whole situation, because like it's been such a while since I've had that, and it comes off of a toxicity,
Right.
you know. So when someone does that to you, you'd be like, there's someone out there that really sees you for you and really likes you for you, and that puts an effort for you and everything. And I sort of messed up towards the end of it. I'll be real. I was confused about it, and you know, but I appreciated the thought. And you know, as I said, everyone's a stepping stone to everything, and you know, if
Everyone's a lesson. Like,
Yeah.
everything could be a lesson.
yeah, and you know, if we find ourselves again, then great. If we don't, then you know, that's you know,
Yeah, that's fine.
it. Yeah, and I really, I mean, not to say it's like I didn't like her. I mean, I really liked her, you know, and if
Just
it
didn't work
not,
out.
yeah, and it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
It's not like your life is crumbling down because
Absolutely.
you got rejected.
Yeah.
This thing didn't work out. Your relationship is ended. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, we move.
100%.
We move. And
Keep moving. That's right. Always pick yourself up, guys.
yeah.
And I've said this many times before. You are your biggest love.
Oh yes.
Regardless.
Yeah,
You know, no matter who comes into your life and who leaves it, you will never leave yourself.
Unless
You know. No.
No.
You will never leave yourself. So be your greatest love.
yeah.
And you know, show up for yourself is something that I always say.
Yeah.
And I think you know, Josh made a really good point, is that when you have that affection and attention coming from the outer
Yeah.
source, you know, it's always nice. We always love that. But yeah, it can get confusing as a woman as well. Like it's so easy to be so, as we call it, delulu.
Oh wow.
It's so easy to get so delulu when you get affection and attention from a certain someone, and then you kind of lose yourself, put them on a pedestal, and then that's when things kind of go haywire, right? It all reflects, because I've noticed that it's when I start to lose myself, that's when things start to they start to go down, you know, and it's very apparent. So I guess in that moment as well for you, it was like, because you weren't sure, it had to not say it had to go down. It had to separate. It had to kind of stop that connection.
It's like, it's so refreshing and it's so foreign as well, you know. And I saw this somewhere that, you know, when you're in the hospital, like, and you have like these things attached to you, and that's like your heartbeat, right? Like it goes up and down, you know, and he was just saying how that's how life is. You have the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and if you stay flat, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Like
you're not living.
No,
You're not
not
living.
at all.
Yeah.
So
And
that's how it is.
And it all links back to, as I was saying, like, you know, when you're feeling your lowest of lows, guys, feel it. Know that it's going to pass through you. They don't, like, this is what I always say. These feelings don't belong to you. They are simply passing through you.
Yeah.
Because when you know that you are naturally a happy person, you know, you love life, you have so much love to give, so much joy to give, but sometimes life hits you with curveballs, right? It's fine. But allow those feelings. Don't suppress them. Don't ignore them. Don't try to fight them. Embrace them.
Yeah.
And then thank them and let them go. You know, that's something that, like, I love the whole concept of the heart line that's going up and down. It's true. You go through your highest of highs and your lowest of lows, but your lowest of lows will still go back to your highest of highs. That's never forget that.
Yeah. And I think one of the sayings that I've kept to myself a lot was this thing where it was like an actor's roundabout, or not roundabout, round table, sorry.
Right.
And Tom Hanks was there, and then he said, whenever you feel down, whenever you're not great, you just say to yourself, this too shall pass.
Love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I remember I was miserable, and then that sort of popped up, you know, and I'm just like,
messages from God or the universe.
Yeah,
That's always the secret.
So that kept me the whole way throughout everything. And I'm just like, you know, it is sort of, you know, doo-doo. It's because we don't cuss here.
No, we do. It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's
it's shit. But this too shall pass, you know. And so that I kept that every day, and sort of just kept on.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, so now, of course, now you're in such a great state of mind. Let's say, you know, to end the day, right? To end the day. What is it that you do to help yourself remember how, like, okay, we mentioned journaling earlier. Do you actually journal?
I feel like I should now.
No, that's okay. But what do you do now? Like, usually, what do you do? Because not everybody has time to journal. Not everybody has the mental capacity to journal. As in, like, even for me, sometimes when I'm exhausted, I don't want to pick up a pen and write.
Yeah,
It's tiring and it's normal. But the one thing that I would do usually is, like, I pray before I go to bed. Yeah. You know, I say thank you for everything that's happened, the good and the bad, because I learned and I got to experience so many things. You know, what is it that you do?
You know, a lot of the times that my friends has asked me, like, what is your love language? Because, you know, speaking about relationships, everyone has their love language. And I feel like mine is gift giving. Like, I love materializing my love for that person and just give it on. And what I usually do is sort of have that back to myself. Okay. So I have retail therapy or something like that.
Love that.
You know,
okay.
It's not every day, you know, it's not ending my day, but sort of ending the week. I've had like a long and tiring week. And then on the weekends, I would just probably go to the mall or something, buy a book, buy something. And that sort of makes me feel good because I want that. That makes me happy. I want to have it. Mm-hmm. And I did. I did it. Like, sometimes books, sometimes shoes. I love
Treat
shoes.
yourself.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Treat yourself.
You know, you've been on and on about this person. You should put yourself first. And not a lot of the times, but like, you know, most of the time, I sort of treat myself. Mm-hmm. You know, as I've treated others or
That's good.
Everyone else. But just, you know, like, you deserve to be on a high bar as well. Yeah. So, you know, I buy these things and yada yada, and that makes me feel good. I sit down on my desk. And you know, I have this whole setup. I have my PC and 2 monitors. And sometimes I would buy. I love Funko Pops, by the way, and so it's either. Oh, excuse me. It's either I put him. I keep him in the box, or I take it out. And then I would put them like in front of me. I'm just like, nice. Oh, that's so cute. That just keeps me going, keeps me collecting, guys. But yeah, no, it's just something that makes me happy. A little by little. Nat, I'm so sorry. But little by little, like, you know, it builds up your happiness, and you know, it shouldn't stop anywhere. You know, keeping yourself happy, and I think that's a number one priority for yourself.
I love that. I think that is so important. I kind of resonate with you on that because I myself love giving gifts. I love giving gifts to friends, to loved ones, and that's something I always do. And I realized that I really needed to start doing that for myself, you know? And like, my friends will argue, Gabby, you have a lot of stuff. You have a lot of stuff. But those are like clothes mostly, you know? But when I mean like I like to treat myself, is like I like to buy things that I can actually use, not like in terms of clothes. Like, for example, let's just give one example. My tarot decks.
Yeah.
I have a whole collection, guys. I have a whole collection, and when I have the chance, I'd like to add to my collection. Like, I like to add, like, I have oracle decks, I have tarot decks. Like, that is how I treat myself.
Yeah.
You know, and then I get to learn the deck. Like, I get to learn the deck because every deck, yes, we always say they all have similar meanings, but they all have their own kind of personality as well. So, for me, that's how I started spoiling myself. Yeah. You know, I'd order tarot decks, or as you guys also met my friend Yena, who owns a crystal shop. I buy crystals from her.
Yeah.
Like, I buy crystals from her just to add to my collection. And that was me treating myself, you know. But I love that whole concept. Yes, it's true. You take care. You spend all your time taking care of so many people. There's a time to take care of yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Treating yourself. Yeah. I love that because actually today I came across that scene from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
I've seen a few episodes.
There was like an episode of, I think his name is Tom and Donna. They were just like, treat yourself. So it's like a day they dedicate to themselves, and they just buy whatever they want. They spend whatever they want, and they just like, treat yourself. And I was like, I love that you mentioned that because that's exactly what I was seeing today.
Yeah, man. Yeah. As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Josh, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
On the other side of fear is pure bliss, or something like that. Maybe, Nat, you can put it down here of what you said. But, yeah. Just seek discomfort, you know?
It's like you won't really grow unless you get out of your comfort zone, right? Something like that.
Exactly.
That's a lovely message to go on, guys. That's true. And I need to take that as well because I feel like I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable. And I'm very comfortable in my own space now. I need to put myself out there.
You getting it out. Shout out to my Yes Theory guys. Amar, you're the man.
I love it. Anyway, so guys, on a high note, I love what he said. You'll never actually grow without putting yourself out of your comfort zone, along the lines of that message. Anyway.
What was those 2 words, Gabby? What did I say?
Growth?
No. Seek
discomfort. That's
the one.
Seek discomfort. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This episode was definitely more fun. It's more of a fun side, more of a relationship topic. We did talk a little bit about healing. I did manage to talk a little bit about the spiritual journey as well and how it all correlates. I really enjoyed this, and I'd really like to do more episodes like this.
Yeah.
I'm sure eventually one day as well, Josh will come back with more stories to share, and hopefully I'll have my own stories to share, guys.
Episode 2, baby!
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, for those who do watch. Don't forget to check out my Instagram page, Lovers Priestess. I don't only post videos like this. I do a lot of tarot reading. I am training in different spiritual healing. And I do just regular talking.
Regular talking,
guys. Regular talking. Having conversations and trying to build a community is what I'm trying to do. So when we talk about relationships like this, anybody that wants to share something, share. Love to hear your experiences with healing relationships, self-love, spiritual journey, all of those kind of things. And if you have the time, comment below anything you might want to hear in future podcast episodes.
Wait,
yeah.
is this going on YouTube?
Yes.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Yes. Hit that bell. Hit that bell for notifications.
Anyway, thank you guys so much again. Thank you, Josh, so much for coming and doing this episode. It was so much fun. And Eli says good night to everybody. With that, I leave you guys to it. Love you all. Mwah. Bye.